part of one talent. That's just to survive, you know. So if I can do movies, if I can do television, whatever I can do, if I can be a plumber to advance myself to get where I want to go, that's what I'm going to do. So that's all this movie was. And hopefully the future have a lot more bigger and better things for me.
Reviews of Loyal to the Game seemed to divide the Tupac fans into two clearly defined camps. There were those who disliked it because a white man had been brought in to oversee the latest instalment in the legacy of a latter-day Black Panther. In addition, there were more virtual collaborations that were a potential insult to the man's memory. And wasn't the whole Tupac saga nearing the end of its shelf life? Ideologically, it was reminiscent of the treatment given to the posthumous legacy of another musical icon, Jimi Hendrix. Jimi had disappointed the African-American community by teaming up with two British white men for his first hugely successful group, The Experience. He addressed this to some extent when he disbanded The Experience and formed a new outfit, the Band of Gypsies, with two black musicians. One, Billy Cox, was a mate from Jimi's army days, while Buddy Miles was the drummer from Electric Flag, guitarist Mike Bloomfield's band. The Gypsies released one live album which contained a side composed of two long jams. One of these, Machine Gun, referred to the experiences of young black men serving in the Vietnam War. Some credibility within the black community was duly restored. But following Jimi's death, tapes of half-finished tracks were found, and the contributions of Jimi's sidemen on these songs were erased, and new performances were spliced in, creating virtual performances that Jimi never lived to hear, and of which he would almost certainly have disapproved. Two albums, Crash Landing and Midnight Lightning, were released. They were subsequently discredited and have never been released on CD. Do the same concerns relate to the treatment given to unreleased Tupac recordings in the last 7 years? How many more albums will be made using fragments of songs that have been lifted from their original context and repositioned with other such fragments to give the impression that this was how Tupac originally recorded them? More significantly, does it matter? Perhaps objections to this being done revolve around two questions. Digital technology allows all sorts of things to happen. Blockbuster movies routinely feature more computer-generated footage than what might be called natural footage, in which actors react to real things happening around them. In CGI sequences, they act to a blank space, and the rest is filled in later. Does all this matter? Or is it the finished result, as Red Spider claimed, that really matters? The second question relates to why so many Tupac albums have been made since he died. Perhaps it's a response to genuine interest in all that he wrote and recorded while he was alive, and if so, maybe it should be left in its original state. Tupac was, as much as anything, a poet. Poetry was once described as the right words in the right order. Is it appropriate to take those words and revise the order in which they are spoken or sung? Perhaps it all comes back once again to the question of digital technology and the opportunities it provides to do new and brave things. When the Superman films starring Christopher Reeve were originally released in the 1980s, they were marketed with the tagline, "You'll believe a man could fly." In fact, you could almost be forgiven for believing that Christopher Reeve could fly if it didn't look so much like he was lying with his arms outstretched in front of a blue screen. By the time that the Spider-Man films were released 20 years later, you really could believe that Tobey Maguire could fly. Similarly, you couldn't believe that the two butchered LPs that came out after Jimi Hendrix's death sounded exactly as they had been recorded. But perhaps you could accept that the treatment given Tupac in the last 7 years has been so skillful and fundamentally respectful that it can all be seen as a welcome marvel of the digital age, and celebrated as true gifts from beyond the grave.
Thank you for buying more Maximum Tupac. We hope you enjoyed it. Watch out for further titles on Chrome Dreams coming up soon. If you did enjoy it or have any comments or suggestions, write to us at Chrome Dreams, PO Box 230, New Malden, Surrey, UK, KT36YY, or email on mail@chromedreams.co.uk. Details of our full catalogue are listed on our website at www.chromedreams.co.uk. Thanks again for listening, and goodbye for now.